CEO Corner is brought to you by Mass Mutual Financial Group. Now on NECN, the region's top CEOs share their insight and experience on the issues and opportunities facing New England businesses. This is CEO Corner.
Segway inventor Dean Kamen teaming up with will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas to turn what could be just another nationwide science fair into a cultural movement. The organization is called FIRST, and today we'll talk with the man who runs it, a CEO who supports it, and an alum now working in technology, which may be the first and foremost goal of the whole thing.
Good evening and welcome to CEO Corner. I'm Peter Howe. As you heard, it's called FIRST, an acronym for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. And the idea is to create not just some very fun techie competitions, but a culture where science and technology are celebrated, one that encourages and inspires kids to pursue those fields. And a look at the numbers can tell you how much our country needs this. According to the latest international assessment of 65 countries, American teens rank 31st in the world in math, rank 24th in science, and 21st in reading. And unfortunately, all of those rankings are down from 2009. A little later, we're going to talk with a major corporate partner of FIRST and an alumnus of the program. But we begin with Don Bossi, president of FIRST. And Don, there's a very good chance people have heard of your terrific robotics competitions and Lego League and Tech Challenge. Give us an overview of FIRST and how it fits into making those numbers we just talked about better.
Sure. Well, Peter, first, as you mentioned, our mission is to inspire young people ages 6 through 18 to become science and technology leaders and innovators. And we do that through this whole series or progression of after-school programs that really engage kids and show them the excitement and fun of science and technology. So we start with 2 programs in the elementary school called First Lego League and Junior First Lego League that we put on in partnership with Lego Education. And then students progress on to First Tech Challenge and First Robotics Competition at the middle to high school level, where it's a more, again, each of these is bringing sport to the world of science and technology.
If you are talking about some of the things that you see happening or not happening in schools that you feel like create the opening for FIRST
Sure.
to do the kind of things you do, what would those be?
So we're the perfect complement to school. Our whole product is inspiration. Our goal is to get kids excited and to want to learn. I think we've all seen that young kids who are stimulated are naturally curious and want to learn. So once they understand and are engaged in something, their openness to learning it comes naturally. And so we're a perfect complement to what already goes on in the school, in the classroom, except we drive it more from the engagement and the fun and the excitement side and the real-world application side of it.
So what are some of the kinds of things, I know there's 1,001 things that you learn participating in these competitions, but what are some of the skills that they reinforce or help you apply to the real world?
Right. So there's three major impact areas of FIRST. One is obviously on STEM or science, technology, engineering, and math skills, and exposing kids to not just the skills, but the career opportunities that exist. But the 2 other key impact areas are in innovation and entrepreneurship, sort of creative thinking, creative problem solving. And then lastly, it's really real life skills, the type of skills that it takes people to become effective in industry and in life later on. So teamwork, communication, project management, all those types of skills are also very ingrained in all of our programs, really trying to produce holistic students and not just smart tech kids.
Terrific thing to teach kids, especially when they're 8, 9, 10 years old. I mean, playing nice with each other and working together to solve problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. And what are some of the ways that you are able to measure the impact that this is having and, you know, what it's doing for kids in the classroom to participate in these out-of-classroom projects?
Right. So obviously our impact is everywhere from teachers seeing a higher level of engagement in the classroom to the fact that our students are 50 to 66% more likely to attend college, multiple times more likely to choose majors in science or engineering. And this is particularly impactful with women and minority students who are anywhere from 2 to 4 times as likely to consider engineering as a career option.
2 to 4, that's incredible. And even, I mean, 66% more likely. That's compared to sort of a control group of kids who don't participate in FIRST?
Yes, compared to the general population of students.
Excellent. So let's talk about, we saw the video at the top, Dean Kamen, Mr. Segway, and will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas. Talk about what they are doing to help. Dean obviously founded this, and will.i.am, what he's doing to help popularize it.
So both are tireless advocates for STEM and STEM education for kids in K through 12. They do everything possible. As the video mentioned, a big mission of FIRST is to really change the culture to one where science and technology and the leaders in those fields are celebrated the same way that sports and entertainment figures are. So obviously getting someone like will.i.am, who's very accomplished in the music industry and well known in that, but getting him to come out and say how important science and technology are to kids' careers, and including careers in music and such. There's a lot of science and technology in making music and in making video and in making film and making art these days. So it's really important to have key role models like them out talking about how this should be an important part of our culture that we celebrate.
And it's an incredibly powerful message. If somebody that cool is saying this is cool, that I think really resonates. Let me bring up a few numbers about FIRST. Founded in 1989 in Manchester, New Hampshire, more than 130,000 volunteers all over the country helping to make it happen, and a network of more than 3,500 sponsors, including universities and corporations, and offering more than $19 million in corporate sponsorships over the course of a year. So how have you built it out since 1989? I know you're relatively new to the organization, but that's an incredible growth and success story for something 25 years old to be that big.
Right. So we've done it, as you mentioned, really through two key areas. One is the corporate sponsorship. FIRST is not funded by the government. We're a nonprofit organization, and we've been heavily supported by 3,500 corporate sponsors, largely because it's in their own enlightened self-interest. This is workforce development and developing the innovators who are going to help propel their companies forward in the future and help propel our economy forward. So our corporate sponsors are obviously a critical part of the equation, and then our volunteers, many of whom work for our corporate sponsors. As you noted, FIRST really runs based on the work of volunteers. Last year, we benefited from 8.8 million volunteer hours. If you do the math on a 40-hour week, 52 weeks a year, that's over 4,200 people volunteering full-time to support FIRST. Wow. Many of them are coaching and mentoring teams and actively interacting with students day in and day out. Others help facilitate and put on our events. Others just help spread the word and do outreach. So it's really that combination of volunteers and corporate sponsors that really make us successful.
Do you think there's a particular magic to the way FIRST has gone about doing this that other organizations or businesses could learn from, how you build out a volunteer base like this?
Mm-hmm. So obviously part of it is we always say FIRST, being a nonprofit, doesn't have a very big marketing budget, so we always say we're the biggest viral marketing success story. It's just getting people engaged, and once people engage with us, whether you're a student, whether you're a volunteer, they become very passionate about FIRST and the impact it has when you see how you're changing people's lives, kids' lives. And so usually they get very involved and tell all their friends, but also our corporate sponsors, beyond just providing sponsorship dollars, really encouraging their employees to get involved. And that's a huge part of why FIRST succeeds, is putting those role models from industry in front of the kids to show them how cool their jobs are, how cool the things and how impactful the work that they're doing and using science and technology can be. And those mentors that come from industry are really a critical part of our success story.
Now, before we go to a break, at this point, any sort of key remaining areas, geographic areas or sectors where FIRST really wants to continue to expand in the next 25 years?
So FIRST has a lot of work. We have a lot of success. Today we have 350,000 kids worldwide in 80 different countries. About 250,000 of them are in the United States. The sad part is that we're still only in about 10% of the schools in the United States. So we've got a long way to go to ensure that every kid has access to a FIRST program. Whether they choose to participate or not, that's their own decision, but it's my mission to ensure they have access to it. And recently we've begun a much more aggressive international expansion through some of our programs and support of some of our corporate sponsors that we'll talk about in the next section.
Excellent. 10% down, 90% to go. We should go to a quick break, and when we come back, a second look at FIRST with an alumnus of the program and a top corporate executive from a major New England company dedicated to the success and growth of the FIRST program. After a break.
For the confidence, results, and diversity in practice that only generations of legal experience can provide, the law firm of Rubin and Rudman, the value of experience.
Waiting for the right time to buy a hardwood floor? Well, check this out. One room of beautiful North American hardwood completely installed for just $999. And this isn't just any hardwood, it's genuine Armstrong hardwood, the most trusted name in flooring. Call National Floors Direct at 888-400-FLOOR. Get an entire room of Armstrong hardwood installed the next day for just $999. A new floor can transform your home, and at just $999, the right time is now.
No matter what size your business, whether you need help with day-to-day cash management or commercial financing up to $30 million, the corporate banking team at East Boston Savings Bank will always be there for you, standing right behind you, ready to go anywhere. Though we probably couldn't all fit in your car, now that would be hard work. East Boston Savings Bank, getting it done since 1848.
And just give them the basics, you know.
I got this.
Is it that time? The son picks up the check.
I'm still working. He's retired.
I hope he's saving.
I hope he saved enough.
Who matters most to you says the most about you. At Mass Mutual, we're owned by our policy owners, and they matter most to us. Whether you're just starting your 401k or you're ready for retirement, we'll help you get there.
Have you been thinking about finishing your basement? Then now is the time to call for great savings on the Owens Corning Basement Finishing System. Transform that wasted space into a new family room, home gym, or even a home theater. And now receive up to $2,000 in free flooring for your new basement. Call 1-800-BASEMENT during this program and receive a $100 gas card with purchase. Plus, schedule an in-home estimate now and receive a free DVD. Remember, free flooring and a $100 gas card with purchase. Call now.
With Basic Talk Home Phone Service, you can make unlimited, crystal clear domestic calls for just $9.99 a month, every month. But if you don't believe me, listen to this Englishman say it in a British accent.
Indeed. With Basic Talk Home Phone Service, you can make unlimited, crystal clear domestic calls for just $9.99 a month, every month. As dependable as my afternoon cup of tea.
Basic Talk, just $9.99 a month. Call, click, or go to Walmart today.
Crosscheck is a hockey show for real hockey fans.
Guess who likes fighting? Us.
Felger and Milbury ask the tough questions.
Was this the right move for the Bruins to make?
Crosscheck, Thursday at 9:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Welcome back to CEO Corner, and as we heard in our first segment, U.S. students do have some catching up to do in science, technology, and math. And FIRST tries to address that with its robotics leagues, Lego leagues, tech competitions. FIRST reaches, as we heard, more than 350,000 students, more than 32,000 teams over the course of a year, and they made almost 29,000 robots this most recent year. Joining us now, some of the faces behind those impressive numbers: Don Bossi, president of FIRST; Robin Sates, who's the senior vice president of PTC in Needham, Massachusetts, technology company strategic partner of FIRST, and Ben Robbins, a FIRST alum from South Boston who now works for PTC. So Ben, I thought we'd start with you. Tell us the story of being a FIRST competition participant and how you got from there to PTC.
Okay, sure. I was attending St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Dover, New Hampshire in 2004, and one of the teachers there approached us, with myself and a couple other students, with the opportunity of getting involved in this robotics competition, and I didn't really know what it was about. I had heard about it briefly through hearing about Dean, and I decided I'll give it a shot. I'll go to this meeting. And we ended up going to the kickoff event they had in Manchester, New Hampshire, where they talked about and showed us what the game was and how to compete in it. And I was instantly very thrilled. I thought it was an awesome opportunity. I had never really had the opportunity to get my hands on a robotics or sort of technical problem-solving team, and then got involved further on through that.
You go from there to college to...
Yeah, so after competing in FIRST, I knew I really wanted to do something in the engineering fields. I chose to pursue a chemical engineering degree at Northeastern here in Boston. Worked in the engineering industry for a little while, and then decided to give my hand at software and joined PTC.
It's obviously sort of a big what-if question. If you hadn't found FIRST, do you have any sense of what else you might have gone into instead?
I really am not sure. First was pretty pivotal for me. Like I said, I knew I like solving problems, I like math, I like chemistry, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I knew I was interested in computers and a couple different things, but I got the opportunity to participate in FIRST, and really from there, I knew that I wanted to do engineering. I know maybe I'd be a math major or finance or something, but FIRST was really great at pushing you in a direction towards something you know you're going to like and be successful at.
And so your day job now, tell us the kind of things you're doing.
Right now, I work with our customers in the retail and consumer products industry. I'm a senior consultant for PTC, and I help our customers understand their business process and then maximize the value they get out of our software.
That's very cool. To think it all started with a cool competition in Manchester. Robin, you were here representing your CEO. Thank you for being here. PTC describes itself these days a provider of technology solutions that transform the way customers create and service your products, which encompasses, I know, a lot of different things. And I'd love for you to talk about what led PTC to FIRST and to this big commitment that you've made to it.
Sure. FIRST is perfect for PTC. Our customers are discrete manufacturers throughout the world. They have a tremendous challenge in facing them in terms of filling the pipeline of engineers. And our software is the software, it's the language of engineers, the software that we provide. And so it just seemed to be the perfect match for PTC to get involved, and it has become the cornerstone of our Creating Shared Value program at PTC.
Don talked about this idea of enlightened self-interest, and I don't know if you've gone through and totaled up just how many people like Ben you have at the company who you think you can say they wound up there because of a FIRST competition way back when?
Yeah, I don't have specific numbers about PTC. We do have, we've been involved for about 7 or 8 years, and we've got we do have a nice intern program where we're bringing high school students in as summer interns, and we hope to see them go through college and then potentially come back as employees. But what we do see is FIRST kids going on and working for our customers, and that's ultimately the goal and the focus of this Creating Shared Value, creating value for PTC and engaging our employees in the program. So we've got hundreds of employees who are volunteering in the program, engaging our customers and our partners.
And if you were making the pitch to other companies in the tech area why they should step up if they aren't now participating in FIRST, what would you say?
Well, there's so many terrific benefits from FIRST. There's, of course, the joy that you get out of seeing a kid get so excited and seeing them develop over a very, very short period of time skills that they will need for their whole lives, and that as a company you would value having them with those skills in your employ. And then there's the employees who get jazzed up and really excited about participating, and it's an outlet that is synced up with them and what they like to see. And then that just generally brings great value to our company, seeing our employees engaged, seeing our customers engaged, and it changes the relationship we have with our customers. It's not just one purely of selling software, but it's also focused on advancing our customers' whole need to become more competitive.
Interesting. So, Don, some of the things that students are typically doing at a FIRST